Friday and have a beer. I'm gonna ride the ATV tomorrow and I'm gonna do some service. Life is great, right? So let me share some tips and tricks for changing oil on an ATV or basically any vehicle. First of all, make sure that the engine is warm. Doesn't need to be really hot, but warm, so no cold oil. And make sure you have some kind of container to put it in. I think this is a good one. Just slide it in underneath and you have a good catcher for the oil. Next, before you remove the plug, make sure that you have this tied on, and once you have removed the plug you can open this because then you get air into it and the oil will drain faster. So when you're laying underneath your vehicle, it can be more difficult to remember which way to turn to loosen or tighten the oil plug, especially if you had a beer or two. So what I do is I make sure this one is correct and it's, you know, loose, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So this is, I think this is the wrong way. Yeah, like that. Then I don't have to think about it when I release the oil plugs. So I double checked and I had it the wrong way, but this is the right one. Okay, and now you should actually wear some kind of plastic gloves or something, because used oil is I think it's called cancerogenic. You could get cancer from used oil, so wear gloves or something like that. But I think this will be okay. I'm gonna wash my hands right after. See? I didn't even get a drop of oil on me. Okay, no, that's not the oil. Now when I have opened the plug, I can lift this up and let air in, and it will drain a little bit faster, but I usually take my time and let it drain for a while. I'm not in a hurry. I checked the Honda manual and it said drop off time, so the time that you let the plug be open was 1 dinner. So 1 dinner later I am now changing the oil filter. Up. So let's get that container down there. And regarding oil filter, usually the price difference on a brand filter, like in this case I bought a Honda filter, the price difference from like a clone or copy isn't so big, so I would actually recommend choosing a genuine oil filter. But when it comes to cars or bigger vehicles, there might be a big price difference, so it could be an idea to find a brand oil filter like MAN or Mahle or something like that. Pure Flux, I think, have good filters instead of these OEM. But I think this filter was like $10, so it's not much to save here. I don't know if you can read this, but it says this side and spring towards engine, and the spring it's still in there here. So it's if you put this the wrong way, you will have no oil pressure and you will ruin the engine. So it's very important to put the oil filter in the right direction. But it's usually not rocket science. Just be careful about what you're doing. If you have a spin-on filter, you should grease the gasket with some new engine oil. This one has a this gasket is already in here, and this gasket, I think it's fine. It wasn't leaking before, so I don't think it will leak now. Couple of broops. You should always change this washer, because this washer is made of aluminium and sometimes it's made of copper, but when you tighten the oil plug it will be squashed. So if you use a torque wrench and use the old gasket, the torque will be wrong. So you should use a new sort of gasket, a new washer. Make sure that the old washer isn't on there, because if you have double washers you might have a leakage. If you have a spin-on filter you might lose the gasket when you take it out, and if you have double gasket your filter will eventually come loose, and you will lose all your engine oil, and then you might ruin your engine, or you will ruin your engine if you run it. Don't tighten the oil plug too hard, because a lot of times this material that the plug goes in is aluminium, and if you tighten it too hard the next time you remove it you might have the threads with you, and that will give you some troubles. If you want to be extra careful you should have a torque wrench, but I've done this many times, so I think I have the correct torque here. And you can see I'm not pulling like out here, because I will pull too hard, so I'm just using this here to get a little bit more feeling for the torque that I'm applying. Yeah, I think that's good. It's time to add oil, and when it comes to oil there are as many opinions as there are people. For this ATV I need a motorcycle grade oil, because it has a wet clutch, and it means that the clutch inside this engine runs with the oil. So that means I need a motorcycle oil. If you have an ATV with a dry clutch, or maybe you have a belt drive system or something, you might be able to use regular oil for cars. If you look in the manual, they will say the viscosity is 10W40, and we can use other viscosities according to this table if you use it in especially cold or warm weather. And you can see this is in Celsius, so I have 15V40, and it means somewhere around here. You see this is 0, so I might, so -5 maybe, because there's 20V, and the W here it means winter. So basically this first number here, it says what kind of viscosity does the oil have when it's cold. And if you have a very low, like 5V, it will be very like easy flowing even if it's really cold. And if you have a high number like 20V, it will be a little bit thicker when it's cold. And the other number, this one, 30, 40 or 50, it indicates the viscosity when it's warm. So a 30 viscosity oil shouldn't be used if it's like plus 30 outside. And you see this 40, it's like you can use it, doesn't matter the outside temperature. And racing oils and stuff like that, they can have 50. I have even seen 60. 50 or 60 means that they're very resistant to high temperatures. And these are just the viscosity. There's also different quality of the oil. And you can see we should use SE, SF or SG according to API. I think that's American like Petroleum Institute or something like that. There's also a DIN norm, which means Deutsche Industrie Norm. And let's see what this one has. It's API SL. And what did we have here? SE, SF or SG. And basically it's like EFGL. So SL is higher quality than SG. And if you have a very old vehicle, like this one is 22 years old, you will have these quality classes. They are probably lower than the oil that you can buy. So this quality class on this very cheap oil is fine. And I would rather have cheap oil and then change it more often. I've had good luck with that, but as I said, there will be a lot of different opinions, and some swear by some Honda oil, or if you have a Can-Am, you should use Can-Am oil or stuff like that. But okay, that's for them. Use a suitable funnel for the oil, and you can see I store my funnel like this. There's like a stop here and a rag there, because I don't want dust or dirt to come inside this funnel. So now when I want to use it, it's really easy. Just remove these and then I can pour in this case 2 liters of oil. The oil container is usually like, you can see here, it is, yeah, it's like 2.5 liters in here. So I should have half a liter left when I'm at the right level. Yeah, so we just repeat this for a while. The manual says to start the engine, let it run for a while, and then check oil level down here. And depending on the engine, you might have to start it, or you could like check it right away. But this one has a dry sump engine. It means that there is no like oil in a big container at the bottom, but it's quite quite shallow, so you need to have the oil rotate in the engine, and then you can check the level. Stop the engine, wait a few minutes, remove the dipstick and dry it off. Put it back without screwing it in. So there could be a situation where you need to screw it in and then check, or you should just put it down and remove it. So you have to check that in the manual. Let's wait a few minutes, blah 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 blah. Remember to write in your service manual when you have done something to your ATV, because then you know when it's time again. See, I did here 153 hours, 914 kilometers, valve adjustment, and yeah, oil was 140 hours. Now we're at 100 and, I don't know if you can see that, 185 hours, oh, 40 hours. So there you have it. Now we have oil and filter change. Vatten på remmen!
Fan, jag har ingen drivning.
Ups. Nu.
Jag har ingen drivning.
Den gick i.
Gjorde den det?
Ja.
Det händer inget.
Det blev inkänd!
Mina skor var inte vattnet.
Nej, men inte mina heller kan jag säga. De luktar gott nu.
Jag skyller på dig. Du kör där innan och liksom rörde upp allt.
Exakt. Ja, mitt fel. Det är inte bara vi som har kört det.
Va?
Det är nog inte bara vi som har kört det.
Nej. Tänk till om det bara tar slut. Jag tror det går ganska.
Ja, det är... Ja då. Ja då, det finns. Nu börjar den toucha på sista här.
Ja, men jag tror det här är lugnt.
Tar du fram fjärrkontrollen?
Nej.
Va? Har du ingen?
Som en jolle.
Det händer. Vänta, stanna. Vänta, du har inte dragit i den där väl?
Ja. Såklart. Ja, nu då.
Ja,
Jag kanske kan backa.
men det var nära. Det är schysst när det blir bättre med handkraft.
Va?
Håll lite högre eller vänster.
Ja.
Höger kanske. Sätta klacken.
Det är lite... Ettan är för låg och tvåan är lite för hög.
Kan du backa tillbaka längre? Ta fart bara.
Jag har en Honda.
Ja, just det. Coolt.
So next day was a long ride, and I did find a few issues. I mean, nothing really went wrong. It works great, but I think the angle on the handlebar is a little bit too much. So I find that I would like to have it a little bit more straighten up. So I think I'm gonna do something about that. And also I did get a lot of pain in my arms from this thumb throttle. It's like really far out, so I need to do something about that. Power steering would be nice. I'm considering getting an electronic power steering kit for it, but we'll see. I did get stuck a lot, so I really should have larger tires, because where we went there had been other ATVs there, and I mean ATVs with turbos and 30-inch tires and stuff like that, so they really dig deep holes, and this only has 25-inch tires, so it's a bit hard to get through there. I need to get a remote control for the winch, and also to make this a little bit easier to get out, because it sticks and then you cannot manually pull it out. Furthermore, I need better boots. The boots I had, they leaked in water, so I had like wet feet the whole ride. And since I have these small tires, I overinflated them, so the ride was really rough. So if I had bigger tires, I could have less air and get some more damping, especially in the rear with the straight axle. It is a bit hard to ride like this. But I think I'll take each upgrade. Like I'll upgrade this eventually. I'm considering getting a newer ATV with power steering, but it's it's not cheap. So, and this one runs very well. It's time now to wash it, and you can see I did put this ATV on these logs here, and it's because I want to remove the tires to be able to clean the brakes and the inside of the wheel arches and stuff like that. It's really hard when you have the tires on there, so that's something I really recommend doing when you wash your ATV. Okay, so let's see. I used the pressure washer here, but you see I used it from the inside after the outside, and yeah, there are some vegetation here. What if I had 10-inch width all around? That would be super cool. Anyway, a bit cleaner now. When you have that grass stuff, it's impossible to get it with the washer, high pressure washer. You almost need to just take it by hand, and then you can wash the mud away. I'm considering putting new tires on these rims. They are actually for a Yamaha. They look like steel, but they are also aluminium. And maybe, paint this area here black and just leave a silver colored rim, because it will get messed up eventually. But if you have this inside black and then this silver, could look okay. Now it's washed and ready for some upgrades, but that will be another video. So thank you for watching, and bye.